Hello and welcome back to Almost Got Us podcast. So, in this episode, let's talk about control system of the society and why it's important to talk about this. So, first, let's start with what is even a control system? It's control of the society over an individual. Simple as that. It's a way of the society to control us. And sometimes we use it to control ourselves unknowingly, unconsciously. And before we get deeper, I want to get into the structure of this control system. We have general type of control. First is the formal or the conscious. So these are the law and order, the propaganda, the army, the uh, the constitution. Those are the things that have been forced to us, the education that has been taught to us by the society. So those are the force, the formal and the conscious. On the other hand, we do have the informal or the unconscious, which is religion, values, customs and traditions, writings, art, books, the media. Those are the informal or unconscious societal control. And why is this important? Societal control, especially the formal one, are used to control behaviors. In general, societal control is used to control our behaviors. But the formal one is like for the law and order, we need it for survival. We need it to behave in a certain way to for us to belong in a certain society. I want to speak more about the unconscious, speak more about the informal. Because more than the law and order, this unconscious values, this unconscious control system that has been imposed to us growing up is driving your behavior on a deeper level. Formal is external, conscious is external, but unconscious, informal, it gets deeper on it has a deeper meaning on how we live our life. Let's start with family values. There are family values growing up that you don't even bother to ask, why is that for? What is that for? You just followed some traditions that you don't know what that really means. And then lo and behold, growing up, you realize that it's doing you harm more than good. And over the years, you just followed it unconsciously because that's the norm. That's the norm of the family. If have the courage to ask, what are these for? What is the reason why we are doing this in the family? Maybe that if you haven't heard the story of the oven, that there is this family tradition. This is just a story that I've heard. There is this family tradition of cooking um, a meat that they put in the oven and they cut the side of the meat. When this grandchild asked the grandmother, why are we cutting the side? And the grandmother answered them that we cut the side because we have a small oven back then during the days. So now that we have this bigger oven who can cook this bigger kind of meat, we still cut it unconsciously because that's the tradition, knowingly that we don't even need to do it. So that that's that story just gave me the idea to ask, why are we doing this? Is this even reasonable to do it nowadays? Right? Another thing is religion. I'm not against any religion, but I grew up as a Christian, as a Roman Catholic. And there has been traditions that you are not allowed to ask why. You are not even they will not hold space for your curiosity. They will hold space for your curiosity. And over the years, I've been believed that I need to fear God. That in a growing up in a Christian Catholic family, there is that goal to grow a God fearing child. You need to bring up a God fearing child. Then when I realized that, why do we need to fear God? For us to do a certain behavior? For us to be forced to go to church every Sunday? I did it for most of my life, don't get me wrong. But over the years, maybe this is just the awakened um, person in me who realized that I don't need to fear God. God is my creator. God loved me. I don't need to fear God. I need to love God because God loved me. I don't know what religion are you right now. I'm not against any religion. I'll be honest. There are people of this religion that I still love. I love the teachings. Still, up to this day, I still love their teaching. But there are just individuals who impose fear, and they use religion to impose fear. And I also heard some crimes that has been driven by the leader of these organizations. The cult like religion, the cult like organizations, that they are using the fear. They are using fear to control someone. And if you haven't heard me say this, the book that I highly recommend is Outwitting the Devil. Regardless of what religion you are, you need to listen to that book because it will tell you what the devil is doing in your mind, how the devil is using fear to impose, to control your life, how the devil is controlling your life through fear. That's just the best description of the book. And I highly recommend you to read it. It's not an easy read, to be honest, but it's worth it. It's worth it, you guys. And another thing that I want to talk about, the unconscious, the informal part of the control system, is the media, the press, who are spreading words, news for you to behave in a certain way. Even the ads on social media right now. If you are into this kind of negative, downward spiraling rabbit hole of the news, it will feed you with more negative so that you will be on this bubble of negativity and you think this world, it's just a scary place to live. Yes, there are places that are really scary to live, really even scary to visit, because there are like horrendous things and horrible things that is happening. But if you will just confine yourself in one single bubble, they have succeeded to impose fear in you that this life is just so horrible to live in. But if you will focus yourself on the good things that is happening, on the love, on the joy, you will have this expanded consciousness of knowing that this is still a beautiful place to live, that this place is still safe to live. This place is safe. You just have to consume content that will make you believe that. And also, it will give you the balance. Also, if it will give you the balance of both. That you just have still to be careful. You just have still to be vigilant. Danger is everywhere, but love is also everywhere. And that is the balance. I think that is one of the reasons why I want to talk about this control system. Because we have that internal control system within us that is driving our life unconsciously. The lessons that has been imposed to you growing up is also one of the control system. There are feelings, experiences, and events that could change your mindset. My challenge for you is to assess your behaviors, check in with your life. What are the internal control system that is controlling your life, that is controlling you to do more, to achieve more, and to be more? Have that expanded consciousness of unpeeling the layers, of remembering who you are, of remembering your truth, your authenticity that has been you, remembering your soul's purpose, remembering your soul's blueprint, the mission and your purpose on why you are here in this life. And control system is here to make us free, to make us feel free in living this life. And that is, my friend, is the best way to end this episode. So much for joining me. And I hope that you're living your life with magic and wonderful surprises. Please don't forget to come say hi on my Instagram at Wanda. If you want to watch the video of this episode, come leave me a comment on YouTube at Wanda. Come and criticize the color of my top if you think this suits the color of my skin, or it's just I look nude. I look nude on this color. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next Wednesday for another episode of Almost Goddess Podcast.